Hello, and welcome back to another video reaction with Otakushinsaku. I know it's been quite some time since I've done one of these, but again, as I said in my short, I'm back making videos, so we're doing this again. And to start off this new year, to get away from all the craziness that's been happening up in Washington, D.C. and stuff like that, though I will be getting into that. So, just forewarning people that this is a channel that I run for things that I am into. And politics is one of them. So, giving you forewarning that there will be political discussions and political videos and discussions about what is happening in the news and stuff like that on this channel. So I just want to do some forewarning before anyone gets confused. As this channel is named after my online alias, and therefore it is, and the whole thing is to serve everything that I am into. So I just wanted to do some forewarning there. That, yes, we will talk about nerdy stuff, we will talk about geeky stuff, but politics is definitely something that I am into. So there will be political discussions and stuff like that. Just, again, a little bit of forewarning. Now, with disclaimers out of the way and stuff like that, let's get into the video that you guys are here for, which is the video reaction. And today we're going to react to a Mr. Skeptic video titled Who Approved These FGO's Strangest Design Choices. So without further ado, alright, let's get into this video without any further delay. Let us do this.
Boudica is known as the ancient British queen and the Queen of Victory, with an epic yet tragic legend behind her. But for some reason, when we first summon her in the game, what we get is a woman wearing what looks like underwear and a uniform that only covers her chest and shoulders. Yeah, thankfully, her second and third Ascension designs are much more modest and fitting for her reputation as a queen. I get it. When it comes to design, what's good or bad is totally subjective. Everyone has their preferences, but let's be real. Almost everyone who sees Boudica's first Ascension design probably feels either awkward or confused. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. I've been playing this game since the NA server launched, and this is the first time I felt like diving into this topic. Of course, with so many characters in the game, I'm only going to talk about a few designs here, but I think you'll agree with me that some of these are just not it. Eric Bloodaxe. Yep. Who here even remembers that this guy exists? His design is so generic that I've genuinely forgotten he's in the game at times. He doesn't have the intimidating vibe you'd expect from a berserker, and there's nothing particularly standout about him at all. And you know what makes it worse? His ascensions are painfully uninspired. Take a closer look at each one, I dare you. In his first ascension, he's just your run-of-the-mill berserker dude. For the second? Oh wow, they added a strip of cloth hanging on his back. That's it. And the third? He slaps on a shield, one shoulder patch, and finally grows some horns, which honestly should have been there from the start if you're going for a proper berserker aesthetic. If you had to sum up the word boring in a single character design, Eric Bloodaxe would be the prime example. If you're thinking the previous examples were bad because they're low rarity servants, well, not exactly. Next.
I apologize that I'm not doing much reacting as of right now, but that's because he hasn't brought up anything of note yet. I fully agree. Eric Bloodaxe is very boring of a design. So, I mean, what do you want me to say other than I agree so far? So let's continue this and see if we can get into something that's actually worthwhile talking about.
Next up, we've got a 4-star berserker, an actual gold servant, Galatea. Now to be fair, the real problem here is just her first ascension. Like seriously, what is up with those pants? Why does she have pants like that? I get it. She's supposed to be some kind of sculpture, so maybe it's not actually pants, but some sort of armor that just looks like oversized 90s baggy pants. But still, once you see it, you can't unsee it. It becomes hilariously awkward because her whole look feels so off in this first stage. It gets even funnier when you think about Rio's manga design for her, where Galatea literally just has a giant box for her lower half. Thankfully, her second and third ascensions are straight up awesome. I mean, come on, who doesn't love the combination of a badass woman and mecha elements? Next up, Ushiwaka Maru. She's been a staple in my roster for the longest time because of her gameplay, but man, her design is just so off-putting. I can't take her seriously when I look at it. Like, what's going on with that armor? The outfit feels so incomplete, and the panties? They straight up look like actual underwear. It's such a letdown, especially since she's one of my absolute favorites when it comes to personality. Before she got her idol costume, I always stuck with her third ascension.
Yeah, this is where I just wanted to bring up the fact that, like, this is the whole, like, female armor thing. Like, and I just wanted, and I was hoping I can pause on something like this where I could just, like, have you guys understand where I'm coming from with an actual visual descriptor. Because the whole thing is, look at that design. Why do we have, like, why do so many, let's be honest, men, and even if the artist was a woman, her bosses are men, let's be honest. Why do we do this? Because honestly, like, we wouldn't have, like, we don't have men running around in this. Like, we usually, like, you know, if this was a male samurai, he would be given the proper respect of a full samurai attire. Like, why do we do this to women? Like, why do we do this to women and force them into being the skimpiest and skimpiest armor? Like, the design of Artoria's armor is decent, though even I like it. I really do. The only problem with Artoria's armor is just the whole story. Like, it's not the armor itself. It's the fact that, in my personal opinion, I still hold that Artoria should reign as a queen and not a king. Just be out and out with it. Like again, that's just like a whole conversation I can get into, like a whole thing I can get into about the fact that I truly believe that Artoria should have reigned as a queen instead of a king, and then if I was in Shiro's shoes and I met Artoria, that's what I would convince her of, is not to wish that she never pulled the sword, but if she's going to wish for anything, wish that she ruled as a queen instead of a king. And also, the whole thing of, like, well, she needed to get married or whatever, I would have convinced her to reign as a queen that never got married, because of the fact that I would show her the reign of the previous Queen of England, the one who reigned for decades upon decades upon decades, and was widely, at least as much as you can, for monarchists. Like in terms of the monarchist community in Britain, she was widely loved and beloved. And so the whole idea that a queen who is not married will be rejected by her people is complete bullshit, being the fact that we are talking about Britain, and that's bullshit. Because not only does Britain love their queens, they love their fucking princesses. So, like, when it comes to, like, Princess Diana. So, like, yeah, this whole idea that, like, Artoria could not rule as a queen, that's a whole thing I get into. And let's just move past that and go straight into this design and go with the idea that I just don't like it, mainly due to the fact that it's a skimpy outfit. Like, at this point, once you really look at this outfit, what is the difference between this outfit and, like, the, summer swimsuit outfits that they have the servants wearing? Like, honestly, what is the difference? Like, this is bullshit. Like, just, like, actually give her armor, because no actual warrior would go into war with this, with how much skin is revealed that could be easily cut. Like, armor is worn for a reason. It's not, like, yes, it's designed to be aesthetically pleasing, but it's also designed to have a purpose, and that is to protect the body, protect the wearer from harm in actions of war. So in this case, she's going out there and fighting people with sharpened swords. She might want to wear something that's covering all that skin so that she doesn't get cut and stabbed. There's a reason why actual samurai were like covered head to toe like in armor, because like they didn't want a single inch of skin showing, because that inch of skin can be easily pierced. This is just ridiculous. Like, and even if you're gonna go with, well, she wants like high maneuverability. Again, you could be inspired by like ninja armor, which is like, you know, designed to be highly maneuverable, but also protect the user from the elements and weapons and stuff like that. This is just ridiculous. Yeah, this is just ridiculous. No actual warrior, male or female, would ever wear this kind of armor into battle.
Because honestly, it's the only one that looks proper and cool. But her first and second ascensions, they're just bad. Not only do they look impractical, but the whole barely wearing anything vibe is way too overdone. When she got her design update in Melty Blood type Lumina, where they gave her a bodysuit under the armor, I was so relieved. Turns out, I wasn't the only one who thought she was way too overexposed. Next up is Tezcatlipoca. This guy is undeniably cool, especially when you look at him in the trailers. But in-game, particularly in his illustrations, he comes off as a bit off. It's like the artist ran out of ink halfway through, but just kept going, which makes his artwork feel kind of odd. Some fans even took it upon themselves to tweak Tez's illustration by enhancing the colors a bit. And you know what? It actually looks so much better. Now, the third ascension. Oh boy, that one stirred up quite the reaction. Honestly, a lot of people dislike Tez's third ascension. The proportions in the artwork feel really off. And to be fair, I'm not a fan of the design either. What's even more frustrating is knowing that the original concept for his third ascension was a giant skeleton robot, like the one from his Noble Phantasm. That initial idea got scrapped, which is such a shame because it would have been incredible. Next up is a character who was super hyped when she first appeared, but got overshadowed by her questionable design, Semiramis. She's insanely popular, especially among those who watched Fate Apocrypha and saw her in action. But when it comes to her design in FGO, let's just say it feels overdone, like too much. The main culprit? Her hairstyle. In Apocrypha, she had this long, straight hair that perfectly matched her elegant and commanding aura. That look was part of why fans fell for her. But in FGO, her second and third ascensions give her twin tails out of nowhere. And not just regular twin tails, they're these massive, rolled-up things stuck to her head. It's weirdly elaborate and totally clashes with her vibe. Twin tails,
Yeah, like, I totally agree, because when you look at those things, like, there's no way that she'd be able to, like, realistically move around. Like, those things have got to be, like, 10, 20 pounds of just pure hair. Like, at a certain point, even with the anime aesthetic of going over the top, there is a line, there is a limit of like, okay, now we're talking basically she's literally walking around with two giant pillars of hair behind her. Like, okay, it's getting ridiculous. Calm the fuck down, artists. Calm the fuck down. Like, you've gone too far. Pull it back.
Usually suit playful or cheerful characters, like Bradamante. You know what I mean if you've seen the internet. But for someone with Semiramis' refined and serious presence, long, flowing hair just fits her so much better. The twin tail design feels so off that fans have joked they look like body bags for her victims. Honestly, her outfit is stunning and fits her role as the Queen of Assyria perfectly. It's just the over-the-top hairstyle that makes everything feel a bit off. A shame, really. Speaking of hairstyles, it reminds me of Edison. Seriously, why was he designed as a lion? I get that there might be some lore behind it, but why an animal? When hundreds of other heroic spirits have unique and striking designs that fit their legends, Edison ends up with a lion head and a bright blue and red tight outfit. And then there's his third ascension, where he suddenly sprouts wings that don't match his look at all.
Yeah, don't get me started on Edison. Like, this is... Like, as a person who's constantly asking for more American representation in Fate, in Type Moon projects, like, I hate what they've done with Edison, because why? Why did they do my dude so dirty? Like, this is, like, the only explanation I can have is that this is designed by someone who legitimately hates Thomas Edison and wanted to bring him down a peg by making him, like, the most ridiculous version of himself. At a certain point, there's no difference between this and just having him literally, like, be a clown. Because this is ridiculous. That's not Thomas Edison. Like, that is not Thomas Edison. Like, friggin' Nikola Tesla got a way better design than his arch nemesis Thomas Edison here. Like, what is up with my boy? What did they do to you? Why did they massacre you so bad in the design? Like, they gave you a lion head for no reason. Like, we literally have a servant called the Lion King in Artoria and King Arthur, but none of their versions get a lion head, but Thomas Edison does? Why? Why did they do my bro so dirty? Why did they do the King of Inventions so dirty? I will never understand this. Like, I will never understand why they did Thomas Edison this way. Like, it honestly made going through the American singularity, the American-based singularity, E pluribus unum, so distracting every single time he came on screen. I'm like, I could barely keep track of what he was saying in the dialogue because I just couldn't stop staring at this ridiculous design.
Like, what's going on here? I just don't get it. Why make him a lion? Why not stick with a human design? It feels so disconnected from his actual legend. Alright, enough about Edison. Let's switch gears to Mama Raiko. Now, this one's definitely divisive. Some people absolutely love her, while others, not so much. Honestly, I don't have a problem with her outfit design. A bodysuit on a curvy woman with some strategically placed armor? Sure, why not? That works for me. But here's the thing. The proportions. Oh man, Raita's art style makes it look so off. Her design feels like the artist took an extremely skinny figure and just slapped on some oversized balloons for her chest. Don't get me wrong, I've got no issue with big assets if you know what I mean, but these don't look natural, especially compared to other servants. Even Lip's unique proportions somehow feel more believable. And it gets even weirder when you see her swimsuit form. It's like, the more you look at it, the harder it is to take seriously. And speaking of not being able to take things seriously, let's talk about Mephistopheles. Seriously, what's up with his design? Why does he look like this? If you don't consider his lore, he just looks bad. Even the way he stands and the pose in his portrait feels off and unpleasant to look at. There's not a single aspect of Mephi's design that I like, at all. Back in the day, I'd spend time staring at servants I wasn't a fan of, just to compare and figure out who I should prioritize for skills and ascensions. But when it came to Mephi, I couldn't muster any affection for his design. Maybe the artist really leaned into showcasing his chaotic nature, but all those random colors and that bizarre outfit just made me want to avoid using him. Ironically, it wasn't until the formal Dresscraft Essence came out that I realized how normal Mephi could actually look. That one CE alone managed to leave a better impression on me than his entire in-game design ever did. Those were some of the worst designs, and I think we can all agree on that. What do you guys think?
Well, yeah, like that was pretty bad. Like those are some pretty bad designs, and I fully agree. Like there's nothing more to say. I fully agree with what he was saying. And yeah, like that wasn't a bad video because it's just I don't know what else to say, but I fully agree. And with that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video reaction. Please come back and watch any of my other videos, and I will hopefully see you guys next time.